Day in the life. Well, it starts with this. Pretty typical. It's 8:45 right now. A little bit. We're usually up and at it pretty early, I feel like. So this is kind of on par. Maybe a little bit later than what I would normally do, but yeah. I mean, try to keep it simple. Do a lot of my stuff at home as far as cooking and eating and whatnot. Try to eat as healthy as I can and stay fit for this stuff. And I feel like the best way to do that is kind of do as much as I can at home and kind of tailor, what I need. That's the most important thing in my day now. The coffee, that's, if I don't have that, the day's already over before it started. I'll always kind of start my mornings with, my breakfast and then try to just get a quick stretch in. And then on a morning like this morning, I'm gonna go, after I'm done fueling up, I go to get a quick mountain bike ride in. I like to get a lot of my stuff done in the morning, whether that's going to ride the mountain bike or, try to get out on the dirt bike or run. This is probably what I do the majority of my training on. I'm a firm believer that there's no better way to get yourself in really good, let's just say riding shape than going out and suffering on the dirt bike for a couple of hours, especially when it's super hot like this in South Carolina. Like, man, you spend a couple of hours on the dirt bike and at the end of the day, you're shot. It's a different kind of riding than the road race bike, obviously, but it's the same idea. You're still twisting the throttle and doing the same basic things. So I feel like it's a really good overlay and kind of keeps you sharp in that sense. This thing's seen a lot of hours. Everything that we do takes maintenance, whether it's the dirt bike, the race bike, the mountain bike, like it all takes maintenance, and kind of the way that I look at it is I need the proper tools to train and take this part of my life seriously. Part of that, grouping it as a whole, is maintaining those things. So anytime that I go to do a training session on a mountain bike or a dirt bike, there's responsibilities that come along with that. It's part of my job and it's part of what I feel I need to do to know that I'm giving this 100%. Yes, it's tough from a physical aspect, like, making sure that you're, dotting your I's and crossing your T's as far as everything that you're doing with your routine, but it's also just kind of like a mental game too of, working as hard as I can for an end goal. Whether it's that extra 0.5% or 1% when we get to the race weekends, like that's what we're all chasing at this level. Especially with where I'm at in my career, it's like I know that this is my time to make the most of what I have, the opportunity that I have. So long story short, it basically all just circles back to, trying to work my ass off, honestly. I got into this because of my father, my dad, and we've been at this for a long time. I could barely talk, but I was on a motorcycle already. I started racing when I was 11. He made a lot of sacrifices for me during that time, and still does, but especially during that time, because it was all on him at that point in time. Going to the racetracks most weekends, and whether it was just track days working on stuff or, going to race, it was always, a priority for us. What's the next step? Like, what do we need to do to keep progressing here?
I said that to Manny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I really like Road Atlanta. It's a really challenging racetrack for the Yamaha because, it's definitely a track that kind of favors horsepower, and that's not always the strength of our bike. But on the flip side, we've done really well there in the past with the Westby team. The thing I'd say I'm most excited about is we've made a bunch of technological updates to the bike. We've got a whole bunch of new electronics, gearbox, engine package. And that's a big thing I'm looking forward to, just seeing how the bike performs there. We've had some pretty major improvements in terms of the engine side, and we've found a new engine partner for 2025. We typically have done engines in-house in the past, and to try to kind of make our program more well-rounded, we're actually bringing on a new partner, a guy named Gary Virgin at Evansville Superbike. He's gonna be doing some engines for us this year. We had him rebuild one, the same one that we had an issue with, the Barber, but that was a rebuilt engine. So we sent him a brand new stock and kind of did like a ground up full Superbike spec build. Did pretty well on the dyno. Didn't have a lot of dyno time, but enough to break it in. So really excited to see that thing on the racetrack.
This is locked out, just to make sure I kind of push right here. Yeah. So like that, thumbs up, good to go.
The engine did not meet our expectations. Unfortunately, had a pretty similar issue to what we had at Barber. It didn't actually last a complete session. So that is a situation that's just not acceptable for our program. It put our guys under a tremendous amount of stress and pressure. So for me, that's problem number one. I don't want to put the team under unneeded stress. We didn't see a major performance step with the engine package. And so, for us to have no major improvement in performance, a clear reliability issue, 2 rounds in a row, losing track time and that kind of thing, that kind of changed our plans. We didn't have time to implement some of the things that we wanted to test. It sort of changed our whole strategy for the start of the weekend.
Yesterday was definitely tough. We just dealt with electrical issues, honestly, all day. The team busted their butts. I mean, they went through everything you could possibly think of to get the thing firing and going, but it just was one of those things, wasn't meant to be. But yeah, like you said, we got a little bit of dry track time this morning in qualifying.
Obviously, the pace of the weekend had been kind of disrupted pretty heavily, but we still were confident in our package. We had a setup both on the chassis and the electronics that we knew was going to be a really good starting point. We're really happy with the direction we went, especially given the kind of the hustle that we all had to endure to get there.
It was good. We were about where we wanted to be. Bike felt solid. I felt really good on it.
Ben had positive feedback. We felt like we were going in the right direction. He told us some things that he felt could work better on the motorcycle, and some things that we could do to give him a more competitive bike. That's the nice thing about my job, is I really enjoy working with data, and if I have clear and concise feedback like that, it makes it so much easier for me to go in there and kind of shape those things to give Ben what he needs.
It's time for the MotoAmerica AMA North American Road Race Championship. Our second round of 9 for 2025 for the Superbike category. We're in Braselton, Georgia at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta for a MotoAmerica Superbikes at Atlanta weekend. And the skies have opened up and the track is wet as we set the stage for race number 1 in one of the hotly contested categories we have here in MotoAmerica competition. competition.
It was definitely raining for the race today. We haven't had that much time on this bike in the wet, honestly, but the base setup that we have is clearly pretty good. I'm pretty confident in it.
Race underway, race 1, Superbike 2025, MotoAmerica Superbike Championship. And off we go into turn number 1. It looks like it's going to be Bobier.
Yeah, it looks like Camp Bobier with Bobby Fong, and it's just so good to see Bobby with so much confidence. But look at his teammate, Jay Gagne, makes an immediate bid going up into turn 2. Greg, and Gagne, I believe, is the rider there that's going to take it. Big shout out to Benjamin Smith there on the 78, doing a tremendous job running with the factory guys again here. You can see him, Greg, right up the back of Escalante, doing a really good job trying to get into that top 5 spot.
Tried to ride a smart, methodical race and just chip away at it. Started in 8th, I believe, and yeah, we wound up getting our first top 5 of the season, first top 5 in Superbike for the team, for myself.
That felt pretty good, especially given the context of what happened during the weekend. We had more than one issue, again, starting off that weekend, which is, for us, not the way we plan to start this year off. You know, for us to miss 2 first sessions at Barber and then miss the 2 first sessions at Road Atlanta, it's not exactly a pattern that I wanted to establish. That being said, we knew we had a good setting, we knew we had a good base, so it was really nice to see Ben qualify well with what we gave him, and then to turn that into a P5 in the first race. First milestone achieved, and we were all pretty happy with that.
It's not right on initial throttle, but it's not long enough. Like,
So, TC, like, you feel that they match you, or is it, you know, quick, snappy, or is it rather slow to predict?
it's not it wasn't ever really a slow predictable.
Yeah.
It was not a like a shit, but it was quicker. Yeah, but I could feel, like, as crazy as it sounds, like in the moment, the bike catch itself, like the TC being like, oh shit. So it definitely helped.
Just had a quick chat with Benjamin Smith and the crew chief in there as well. As you may have realized, Ben did not make it out at all on Friday. They had a vaulting issue, and after Q1 they had an engine blowout as well. It was a very tough opening day, but Ben Smith came 5th in the end in race 1, so an outstanding performance.
You know, I knew that I was going to have to push myself to new boundaries that I haven't been to so far in my career. That's just part of it. That's part of climbing this ladder. I'm definitely on the younger side for this class. The people that I'm racing against, I was going to watch as a kid, going to races and watching them. So it's pretty surreal to now be truly racing them, knowing that, you know, man, I remember being 9, 10 years old and going to watch these guys do what they're already doing right now.
Everything is fixed today. So far, so good. It's all going smooth, and given that 5th place in race 1, they have high hopes of Ben having a really good run out in race 2.
Yeah, for a team that's still growing, they're still getting up to speed with the bike. Having 2 race days now we've had so far this season, in the very early stages of the season, have been in the rain, and they're not able to push it. They're not able to find the limit. They're not able to get that data, and that's really what this team needs.
We're riding a very fine line between being successful and going over that line sometimes, unfortunately. If I'm being honest, I think that that's where the separation from a lot of guys come from. You know, the top guys, I know that at one point in their career, they were going through the same thing that I'm going through now.
But, you know, the way he did that race yesterday, he was just kind of chipped away at it. He didn't push too hard early on, and finding himself inside the top 5 is a great result. And I think that momentum, even though it was wet, can kind of carry over to the dry, having that confidence of getting the top 5 in a Superbike race.
Ben Smith is also a rider that I have been interviewing for the last 9 seasons. He has made his Superbike full season debut this season. Ben, tell us how the season's going so far with this team and with this motorcycle and with this crew.
It's been awesome. Obviously, like you said, we've been at it for a while. So to be in a position that I am in right now with a proper Superbike and a proper team crew all around me is honestly an honor. And yeah, we got our first top 5 finish of the year, second weekend in. So we're pretty happy with that. We're making small steps. I want to just chip away at this thing, not try to do anything crazy, and just learn, progress throughout the entire season. I know I've got the bike and the equipment to do it, so you know, it's on me.
This young man here's got a lot of talent, Greg. The most important thing for him right now, get that bike, bring it back to the crew by the end of the race. You're in 7th right now. You're coming off a career best 5th. These results and these dry laps that he's doing, really kind of getting used to a Superbike for the first time in his life. These are the kind of results that you want to continue to get.
The development of this motorcycle and his skills on it are led by his crew chief this season, Ed Sullivan, who's got a lot of experience with the R1. He's really familiar with this motorcycle. He said he feels like this is a really good relationship that they're building at the right time for Benjamin, at the point that he is in his career with his age, just to help him cultivate and further develop that talent and communication skills and really learn.
And of course, Ed Sullivan spent years and years with Matthew Stoltz, and he is no stranger to building a race-winning Superbike. And then this battle looks like it's Ashton Yates who got around Hayden Gillum. And where's Benjamin
Stayed
Smith?
ahead of both of them. So Ashton actually got by Gillum on the last lap coming out of the last corner just now. And good for Benjamin Smith. 7th place, solid weekend for him.
That's inevitable with any race program or any rider, team member, anything. That's, you know, it's you're happy to achieve that milestone, but then you're looking ahead. So for us, obviously where we want to be is the podium.
I know that I can do it, and I know that the package can do it to be on that podium, and that is the ultimate goal. That's where I want to be. Again, it's no easy ask. Running a Superbike at this level is no joke, but you know, I truly believe that that's where I belong and where we belong as a team. And we've shown that. Like, we've shown really positive speed.
We've been able to achieve these results so far with missing the majority of the track time up to that moment. So there's no reason we shouldn't be on the podium.